Imagine you are submerged in the crystal-clear waters of the Caribbean, surrounded by a pod of playful bottlenose dolphins. To your ears, the water is filled with a chaotic symphony of high-pitched whistles, rapid-fire clicks, and strange rasping chirps. For decades, we assumed these were just emotional signals, the equivalent of a dog's bark or a bird's song. But right now, a team of specialized researchers using military-grade hydrophones and cutting-edge artificial intelligence has done the impossible. They haven't just recorded these sounds, they have decoded them. What they discovered is that dolphins aren't just communicating feelings. They are speaking in a complex, structured language with its own grammar, syntax, and even individual names. But the most shocking part isn't that they can talk, it's what they are actually saying to each other. From planning coordinated hunts to discussing specific humans by name, the transcripts of these underwater conversations are rewriting everything we thought we knew about non-human intelligence. We are diving into the breakthrough that finally cracked the dolphin code, and why the ocean is a much louder, more conversational place than we ever dreamed. To understand how we decoded a language that exists entirely underwater, you first have to understand the sheer complexity of dolphin acoustics. Dolphins live in a world of sound. While humans rely primarily on vision, a dolphin's primary sense is auditory. They don't just hear the world, they see it through sound using echolocation. But while their clicks are used for navigation, their whistles and burst pulses are used for something much deeper. For a long time, the biggest hurdle for scientists was the speed and frequency of these sounds. Dolphins can produce sounds that are 10 times higher than the upper limit of human hearing, and they can pack more information into a 1-second whistle than we can into a full sentence. To our ears, it's a blur. To their massive, highly developed brains, it's a detailed narrative. The breakthrough came when researchers stopped trying to translate dolphin sounds into human words and instead fed massive amounts of acoustic data into a high-powered AI algorithm. This AI was designed to look for patterns, repeated clusters of sounds that appeared in specific social contexts. What the machine found was a direct correlation between certain sound packets and specific objects or actions. It turns out dolphins use a combinatorial language. This means they combine basic sounds into words, and then combine those words into sentences to convey complex ideas. It is a level of linguistic sophistication that was previously thought to be exclusive to humans. One of the first things researchers decoded was the signature whistle. Each dolphin has a unique whistle that functions exactly like a human name. But here's the shocking part. Dolphins don't just use their own name to identify themselves. They use the names of others to address them or to talk about them when they aren't around. In one recorded instance, a mother dolphin was seen calling out the signature whistle of her calf who had strayed too far. The AI analyzed the response, and it wasn't just a generic "here I am" signal. The calf responded with a specific sequence of pulses that the AI translated as a request for permission to stay with another group of juveniles. The mother replied with a sharp, descending whistle that translated essentially to "no, return immediately." This isn't just signaling, it's an intentional exchange of abstract information. But as the AI looked deeper into the data, the conversations became even more complex. Researchers began recording planning sessions before coordinated hunts. In a pod off the coast of Florida, the AI identified a recurring sequence of burst pulses that always occurred before the dolphins initiated a mud ring hunt, where one dolphin stirs up a circle of silt to trap fish while the others wait to catch them. The decoding revealed that the dolphins were actually assigning roles. One sequence was identified as the instruction for the driver, another for the blockers, and a third for the finisher. They were discussing the strategy in real time, adjusting their plan based on the movement of the fish. This level of tactical communication suggests a degree of foresight and theory of mind that rivals prehistoric human hunting parties. Even more mind-blowing was the discovery of cultural history. In some older, more established pods, the AI identified extremely long sequences of clicks and whistles that didn't seem to correlate with any immediate action. These sounds were primarily heard during rest periods when the dolphins were drifting slowly in a tight group. The researchers believe these might be the dolphin equivalent of storytelling or oral history. They are passing down information about distant reefs, historical weather events, or even the locations of dangerous predator hotspots to the younger generations. The shocking element here is that dolphins may have a collective memory that spans decades, preserved through their complex acoustic interactions. The emotional depth of their language is also staggering. The AI identified specific comfort chirps used when a pod member is injured or stressed. These aren't just instinctive cries of pain. They are targeted messages of support. When one dolphin was being treated by veterinarians for a minor injury, the AI recorded the other dolphins in the enclosure, repeating a specific rhythmic sequence towards their friend. When decoded, this sequence showed a high degree of similarity to the soothing patterns found in human lullabies or calming speech. They were literally talking their friend through the stress of the procedure. But perhaps the most shocking find of all was how dolphins talk about us. Researchers at a study facility in the Bahamas noticed that the dolphins had developed a specific sound for the lead researcher. Whenever she approached the water, the dolphins would emit a particular multi-harmonic whistle. When the AI analyzed this sound across different pods that had interacted with humans, it found that dolphins use a specific referential label for humans. But they don't just have one word for human. They have different labels for friendly human, indifferent human, and human with food. In one recorded transcript, two dolphins were seen observing a group of tourists on a boat. The AI decoded their conversation as something akin to, "The loud ones have returned, but they don't have the silver fish today." They were categorizing us based on our behavior and resources. This discovery has led to the development of the Dolphin Translator, a device that can play back decoded sounds in real time to see how dolphins react. In a controlled experiment, researchers played a recorded greeting whistle to a pod in the wild. The dolphins didn't just swim away, they stopped, circled the speaker, and responded with a sequence that the AI translated as a question about the origin of the sound. They were essentially asking, "Who said that and where are you?" It was the first ever two-way conversation between humans and dolphins using their own linguistic rules. The physical structure of their speech is also bizarre. Unlike humans, who use an opera of vocal cords and air from the lungs, dolphins produce their language through phonic lips located in their blowholes. They can actually produce two different sounds at the exact same time, one from the left side and one from the right. This means they can speak in chords. Imagine being able to say two different sentences simultaneously and having the listener understand both. This multi-channel communication allows them to pack an incredible amount of data into a very short window of time. It's the acoustic equivalent of a high-speed fiber optic cable versus an old copper telephone wire. Scientists are now exploring the syntax of dolphin speak. In human language, the order of words changes the meaning. The dog bit the man is different from the man bit the dog. The AI found that dolphins use a similar rule. When a certain action whistle preceded an object whistle, the pod reacted one way. When the order was reversed, they reacted entirely differently. This proves that they understand the concept of grammar. This isn't just a collection of nouns. It's a sophisticated system of logic. The shocking revelations continue as we look at dolphin politics. The AI identified specific vocal patterns used by dominant males during the formation of alliances. Dolphins are known for their complex social hierarchies, but we didn't realize how much of that hierarchy is maintained through verbal negotiation. Alliances are formed, challenged, and reaffirmed through long, complex debating sessions. These conversations can last for hours, involving multiple pods. It turns out that being a leader in a dolphin pod is less about physical strength and more about being a persuasive communicator. The researchers also found evidence of abstract concepts. There is a specific sound that the AI has tentatively translated as yesterday or the past. This would mean that dolphins are one of the only species besides humans that can talk about things that aren't happening right now. They can reflect on a hunt that didn't go well or a reef that used to be full of fish. This ability to discuss the past is a prerequisite for high-level intelligence and culture. For viewers interested in recent scientific discoveries, this is the frontier. We are moving from a world where we monitor animals to a world where we listen to them. The ethical implications are massive. If we can confirm that dolphins are discussing their environment, their history, and their relationships with humans, do we have a right to keep them in tanks? The more we decode, the more the line between animal and person begins to blur. Dolphins are proving that intelligence doesn't require hands or fire. It just requires a big brain and a way to share ideas. The technology used in this decoding is almost as impressive as the results. The researchers had to create waterproof AI acoustic arrays that could track 360-degree sound in the middle of a pod. They used machine learning models originally designed to decode ancient, lost human scripts. The fact that an algorithm meant for Egyptian hieroglyphs worked on dolphin whistles tells us that there are universal rules to how intelligence organizes information. Language is language, whether it's written on papyrus or whistled in the deep. In one particularly moving incident, Researchers recorded an elderly dolphin who was nearing the end of her life. The pod stayed with her, and the AI recorded a constant, gentle stream of low-frequency pulses. The decoding suggested these weren't calls for help, but rather a collective echoing of the elderly dolphin's own signature whistle and those of her long-gone family members. The researchers believed this was a form of acoustic comfort, a way of acknowledging her identity and her history as she transitioned. It was a beautiful, heartbreaking reminder that dolphins have an emotional capacity that we are only just beginning to grasp. But the decoding project isn't just about emotions. It's about survival. By understanding dolphin language, we can better protect them. We now know that loud industrial noises from shipping and sonar aren't just annoying to dolphins. They are effectively shouting over their conversations. It's like trying to have a deep conversation in the middle of a construction site. By decoding their language, scientists can prove exactly how much man-made noise interferes with their ability to hunt, socialize, and raise their young. The shocking thing about what they said during these periods of noise interference was the level of frustration. The AI decoded sequences that appeared to be warnings or calls for silence directed at the source of the noise. They were aware of the intruder and were actively trying to compensate for the disruption. This demonstrates a level of situational awareness that is breathtaking. They aren't just passive victims of sound pollution. They are active pokushai to navigate around it. As we look toward the future, the goal is to create a universal translator for the ocean. If we can decode dolphins, what about sperm whales? What about humpbacks? We are discovering that the ocean is a massive network of information exchange. It's a literal Internet of Things, where the things are highly intelligent mammals sharing data across hundreds of miles of water. Dolphin language is just the starting point. It's the Rosetta Stone that will allow us to unlock the secrets of the entire marine world. The researchers have also identified dialects. Dolphins in the Pacific don't sound exactly like dolphins in the Atlantic. While the basic names and action words are similar, the pronunciation and certain colloquialisms are different. This means that dolphin culture is fragmented and localized, much like human culture. A dolphin from Australia traveling to South Africa would likely have a language barrier and would have to spend time learning the local slang. This level of cultural variation is a hallmark of high-level cognition. One of the funniest things decoded by the AI was playful banter. Young dolphins were recorded engaging in rapid-fire exchanges while jumping and chasing each other. The AI decoded these as being largely non-referential, basically the dolphin equivalent of "check this out" or "I'm faster than you." They tease each other, they play tag using sound, and they seem to have a genuine sense of humor. This playfulness isn't just for fun. It's how they practice the complex grammar of their language before they have to use it for serious tasks like hunting or politics. The AI also discovered that dolphins use honorifics. When a younger dolphin addresses an older, more established member of the pod, they use a specific introductory whistle that isn't used when speaking to peers. It is a vocal sign of respect, a recognition of the older dolphin's status and experience. This confirms that dolphin society is deeply structured and that language is the tool they use to navigate that structure. The shocking element of dolphin naming conventions also extends to other species. Researchers found evidence that dolphins have referential labels for sharks, sea turtles, and even specific types of large fish. When a shark enters the area, the dolphins don't just give a generic danger signal. They give a specific whistle that identifies the predator as a shark, allowing the pod to react appropriately. This is symbolic thought, using a sound to represent a specific category of thing in the real world. Scientists are also looking at how dolphin language develops in calves. It's a process very similar to human babbling. Baby dolphins aren't born knowing the language. They have to learn it from their mothers and the pod. They start with simple, messy whistles and slowly refine them over several years. The AI tracked the linguistic development of one calf and showed how her whistles became more structured and precise as she aged. By age 3, she was able to use the names of all 20 members of her pod correctly. This learning phase is further proof that this is a true language, not just an instinctive set of calls. But the most challenging part of the project is the abstract vocabulary. There are certain sound patterns that the AI recognizes as being highly structured but doesn't yet have an equivalent for in any human language. These might be concepts that are unique to a life in a three-dimensional, weightless, acoustic environment. How do you say the feeling of the current against your dorsal fin or the specific resonance of an underwater cave? We may find that dolphins have words for things we literally can't imagine. The decoding of dolphin language has also solved a long-standing mystery about mass strandings. By analyzing the acoustic records from stranding events, researchers found that these are often caused by a breakdown in communication. When the lead dolphin's signals are drowned out by sonar or distorted by a sloping sandy beach, which reflects sound poorly, the pod's social cohesion signal becomes frantic and confused. The AI decoded the final messages as being ones of extreme disorientation and calls for gathering that inadvertently lead the group into shallower water. It isn't a choice to strand. It's a tragic linguistic accident caused by environmental interference. As the AI continues to process thousands of hours of recordings, the dictionary of dolphin speak is growing every day. We now have over 200 words tentatively identified and a basic understanding of their verb-noun structure. The goal is to eventually be able to ask a dolphin a question and understand the answer. Not "Do you like the ball?" but "What happened in this bay 10 years ago?" or "How do you navigate across the open ocean?" These are the questions that will bridge the gap between our two worlds. The shocking reality is that we have been looking for an extraterrestrial intelligence in the stars for decades, but we've had one right here in our oceans the whole time. Dolphins are essentially an alien intelligence that evolved parallel to ours. They have a different biology, a different sensory world, but a nearly identical drive to communicate, to cooperate, and to share their lives through language. Decoding their speech is the most significant step in the history of interspecies relations. The researchers are now calling for acoustic rights for dolphins. If they are speaking a language, then their acoustic environment is their home. Destroying that environment with noise is equivalent to destroying a human library or a community center. This scientific discovery is rapidly becoming a legal and ethical battleground. By proving they can talk, we have proven they have a voice that deserves to be heard in our courts and our conservation policies. Think about the sheer amount of information currently flowing through the world's oceans. At any given moment, millions of dolphins are discussing their days, their families, and their environment. It is a massive, invisible web of intelligence. We have just started to tap into this network. Every time the AI flashes a translation on the screen, it is a moment of profound connection. We are no longer alone on this planet. We have a neighbor who has been trying to talk to us for millions of years. The project is also looking at cross-species communication. There are documented cases of dolphins and whales interacting in the wild. Does a bottlenose dolphin know how to speak humpback? The AI has found some evidence of pigeon languages, simplified versions of whistles used when different species meet. This suggests an even higher level of linguistic flexibility. They aren't just limited to their own pod. They are part of a global, multi-species blue community. The most shocking thing about the transcripts is the lack of hostility. While dolphins can be aggressive, their language is primarily focused on cooperation, greeting, and social bonding. They spend a huge amount of time just saying hello and reaffirming their presence to each other. In a world that can be dangerous and vast, their language is the tether that keeps them connected and safe. It is a beautiful vocal testament to the power of community. As we conclude our look at this incredible breakthrough, remember that the ocean isn't a silent place. It is a place of stories, of names, and of deep, complex conversations. The dolphins have been speaking all along. We just finally learned how to listen. The AI has opened a door that can never be closed. We are now part of the conversation. The shocking things decoded from the dolphins remind us that intelligence comes in many forms. It doesn't always result in buildings or technology. Sometimes, the highest form of intelligence is simply being able to perfectly understand and connect with those around you through the power of speech. Dolphins have mastered that art in the most challenging environment on Earth. So the next time you see a dolphin jumping in the wake of a boat, don't just see an animal playing. See a person with a name, a family, a history, and a language. And know that they might just be talking about you as you sail past. The ocean is talking, and for the first time in history, we actually know what it's saying. The scientific discovery of the dolphin language is a masterclass in modern technology meeting ancient biology. It is a triumph of artificial intelligence and a tribute to the persistence of the human spirit. But mostly, it's a tribute to the dolphins. They have kept their culture and their language alive for millions of years in the deep, and they are finally sharing their secrets with us. The transcripts are still arriving. The AI is still learning, and the conversation is just beginning. What will they say tomorrow? What will we say back? The future of interspecies communication is here, and it's happening right now beneath the waves. It is a new era of understanding, a new era of respect, and a new era of connection. The dolphins have spoken, and the world will never be the same. For those of us who have always felt a connection to the sea, this discovery is the ultimate confirmation. We knew they were smart, we knew they were special, but we didn't know they were conversationalists. The shocking truth is that the ocean is full of thinkers, and we are finally invited to the table, or rather the reef. The hydrophones are in the water, the AI is humming, and the pod is gathering. A new message is coming through. It's a series of whistles and clicks that translate to something we can all understand. We are here, we are together, and we have a story to tell. And that is a discovery worth listening to. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the decoded language of the ocean. It is a journey that changes our perspective on intelligence and our place in the natural world. Keep an eye on the water, stay curious, and always remember that the world is much more conversational than it seems. The dolphins have a lot to say, and we are finally ready to hear it. Until next time, stay connected to the mysteries of our amazing, talking world. The language of the deep is no longer a secret. It's a bridge made of sound, built by dolphins, and finally crossed by humans. And on the other side of that bridge is a world of wisdom, empathy, and connection that we are only just beginning to explore. The shocking truth is just the beginning. The real adventure is the conversation itself. The pods are moving, the whistles are echoing, and the ocean is alive with the sound of speech. This is the new reality of our blue planet. A planet where dolphins aren't just animals, and humans aren't just observers. We are all part of the same great conversation, and it's the most incredible thing we've ever heard.